How are you guys doing? We are speedily moving along in the year. We're in March already, midway there. Are you ready to crack on with another wonderful week? If you are, if you're hearing the sound of my voice, just drop a one in the chat. Let me know where you're calling in from as well, and we will get started shortly. Welcome. I see Jamaica is in the house, Canada is in the house, London is in the house. Welcome, Texas. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We got Essex in the building. I'm gonna drop this I'm gonna drop this speech into our educational chat. It's actually a really good one. Jamaica, Jamaica is in the house. Sweet TNT is in the building. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. All right, let's swiftly jump across, see what's happening in the markets next week. Let's see what happened the week prior, actually. Well, apparently now we're starting to get Iran and Israel and the US, I believe, wanting to negotiate. Did you all hear that? Yeah? Did you hear that Iran and Israel and they are trying to negotiate? So it appears that we may see a cooling down of that war that has been happening now for probably about more than a month. Okay? So that may ease things up a little bit when it comes to the price of our good friend, Mr. Gold. I mean, we have been seeing some pulling back, even though there was, right? So this was on last week. Last week, it pretty much dropped off. So we will see what's happening. All right. So let's see what's happening in the economic calendar. We did have some good news on the US. Right. Let's go to previous week. Sorry, what am I doing here? Wrong week. Okay. So the US actually had some decent news, well, except for the non-farm payroll. Oh, sorry, I'm not on the right week. Let's go again. Right, there we go. We'll get there in the end. Yeah. So US actually had some decent news starting on Tuesday where the housing sales actually was positive. All right. Shows that the economy is still pretty much doing great. Again, initial job claims, it went down. It means less people are on the benefits. So that's a positive as well for the US. GDP was slightly different, where it was a little less than expected, but it was still positive though. It wasn't negative. And of course, the jobs openings, right? There was some more jobs openings in the US as well. So all in all, more positive than negative. The inflation actually was neutral, right? So that's why we saw a lot of just up and down on this particular on Wednesday. It wasn't really moving or shifting that much. But there we have it, right? So that was the US, and because of all that positivity, we're seeing the US strengthen up and gold falling off, right? And we should actually see it in other currencies as well. Right, so there you go. Right, so because of the US getting some strength coming in, let me just switch this off a little bit, right? Some strength coming in there, we're seeing the prices falling. Now, when we seeing all those nice, beautiful fundamentals happening, then we start to look for our 1-2s and 1-2-3s in that direction, you know? And we could see that we actually had a few here. Let me just switch on, tune on a few more of these order blocks. Now, when we go to the order blocks here, at the moment, I've got 5 on, but I could potentially turn more on if I want. I want to see the future, the past a little bit. So I'm going to switch on 10 instead of 5. Okay, so there we have it. So Tuesday is where things started to, turn. And this was a 1-2 here on Tuesday. This here was a 1-2-3. Now remember, what do I say about 1-2-3s as compared to 1-2s? We have a 1-2-3 as compared to a 1-2. What does that mean? Yeah, 1-2-3s are just higher probability. Yeah, for sure. Yes, it is mood swing level for sure. Yes, but 1-2-3s would give you more of a higher probability than just the 1-2s, right? And that's one thing that we have to keep in mind as we're playing out. But see, you could see here that 1-2-3 is pretty much still in play, and this was from Wednesday. So we could actually treat 1-2-3s as potential swing trading opportunities, right? We could even, well, we say swing, but it's holding for several days and not necessarily swing trade. Swing trade is like holding for weeks, right? But at least holding for a longer period of time. No, the 3 is the mood swing level, right? So you said it right? The 3 is the mood swing level, yes. But when we do have a 1-2-3 setup, we usually get to see the market moving for a longer period of time in one direction. And that's exactly what we've seen here. Okay. So even on Wednesday, we still had a little bit of a pullback on Thursday, but again, a drop off. But look, we had this is a 1-2 here. Hold on a second. There we go. I was wondering for a minute, am I going crazy? My mood swing line was off. Okay. Now, one thing to bear in mind is no, Nish. The 1-2-3 is your order block, your either shorts or bears, and your mood swing level, right? So if you haven't seen the training, go back and watch the training, all right? Right, this is a 1-2 here, so 1-2-3. The 1-2-3s do not come around very often. But again, look at this here. This is a 1-2-3 on Friday. during the Asian session, right? So again, we had the mood swing level here. We had the order block. We had the bears. That is your 1, 2, 3, right? See, the mood swing level does make a massive difference. So this is why we're very unique in that sense, right? Because we have the mood swing levels and we have the bears and shorts. The order blocks, well, you know, they are okay in and of themselves, but when we combine them with the mood swing level and the bears, that's where we have some really nice things going on. So again, that was a nice short here for the bears on the mood swing level. That's 139 pips in play on GBP USD, and it's continued diving. Now, whenever you see we have a short here, okay, it just simply means, or do you know what, whenever we see a short here, do you know what that means? Yes, you have to wait for either bears or short before you enter. Yes, have to wait. That is the rules. Follow the rules and you'll be all right. We have to wait after the order block. We have to wait for a bears or short. If we have an order block and we don't have any bears or shorts, we do not take a trade because that is not the rules. But question, if we see a short appear, all right, what does that mean? It's not a trick question, right? But we're just educating. When we see a short here, what does that mean? Anybody? Or if you don't know, it's okay to say you don't know.
Is there a stronger confirmation?
Not necessarily. Well, I mean, sort of. But there's a specific meaning to it. Not necessarily sells, because the bears mean sell as well, but not necessarily sell. But the bears and the short mean something slightly different. So the shorts will only appear when they are trading below the mood swing level. All right? So that's something to keep in mind. Take a note of that. The bulls will only appear, not the bulls, sorry, the longs will only appear when the market is trading above the mood swing level, right? So if I switch that, you'll see what I mean. So if I put the longs on here, and let me put the shorts on here. Okay. So you see here? So the short appears because it's trading below the mood swing level. The longs appear because it's trading above the mood swing level. So that's something to just keep in mind, because at a glance, then you could see, all right, well, okay. I mean, you could see when the market is trading below the mood swing level anyways, right? At a glance. But then that just kind of gives you an idea of, okay, well, yeah, I'm actually trading with the market sentiment at the moment, okay? So this is just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, right? When the market has been trending upward for say, and when we start seeing longs and short kind of close by together, it just simply means that it's ranging around the mood swing level. That's all, right? Now, the purple line is just the fair price level, right? Purple line is just the fair price level. Don't really deal with that too much. It's nothing to do with our strategy. Well, at least nothing to do with our 1, 2 or 1, 2, 3 strategy. But the purple line is just a fair price line, okay? It's the price that the market would have most traded on this particular day. Okay? So at the moment, we're seeing a huge drop to the downside. If we do see, because we had some positive news on the US, I know we still have the war going on, but if we do see a ceasefire, then it could be interesting. Let me just see, Iran war. Let's see what's happening in the news. Oh, okay. That was fake news then, because it says that, let me read the summary. Iran denies asking for a ceasefire after Trump claims that Tehran wants to negotiate. So there we go. So it says here that Tehran says they are ready for a long war. Okay, so yeah, so that was Donald Trump just saying nonsense. All right, so 2 minutes ago, Israel says that it still has thousands of targets on Iran. All right, so scrap that in terms of Iran wants to negotiate. The war continues. All right, so if the war continues, then we could actually start seeing this gold looking to rise again. I mean, oh, sorry, that's not gold. Okay, we could potentially start seeing gold wanting to rise again. So you see this area down here? I would mark that off. We could see it here is already marked off. We'll see what sort of reaction we're getting off of this zone, even on our bigger time frames, and look for some potential for a rebound on this gold, because that war ain't looking like it's gonna be over anytime soon. Right? But we'll wait. We'll wait. We were looking at GBP JPY last week, right? Anybody remember that one? What do we say? What do we say on GBP JPY? Because we had some news on Japan. I think it was either the GDP news as was gonna come out. But anybody remember that one? GBP JPY trade setup that we were looking at, or okay, nobody remembers. But anyways, we were looking for a buy on GBP JPY. Okay, we were looking for a buy last week or week before. This was the Sunday. So last week Sunday was the 8th. See it here. Price had already pushed up. We had several opportunities there on the Friday, but then we had a gap down in the market, and then boom, movements to the upside. Okay. If I do a replay, right? So we had that opportunity to get in there for a long on a 1-2. Right? So this right here is a 1-2 opportunity. This one here, that's a 1-2 right there. You see this red order block? That's an old order block. So we don't, we're not fussed about somebody is saying something. Okay. The news took you out. Okay, I got you. But hey, profit is a profit. Profit is profit, man. right? There we go. Starts continue to push up. So even if you get in right here, if you got in right there, right, on this particular day, that's what, 40 pips. Still going. Still going beautifully. That's what, 60 pips. So let me just pause right here. So right here, right? You see we had a red order block, but we didn't have any short or sell or, anything like that there. So right there, there's no trade opportunity there. Right? All right. So with this one, stop. Right. So if we took the short there, we would have gotten stopped out. Okay, we would have gotten stopped out. So no stress. And this is why we're saying make sure that we do a good risk management because you're not going to win all the trades. All right. So good risk management is key. But eventually we had a change of tune and it continued pushing until eventually dropped off. So GBP JPY actually worked out really, really nicely. Let's see what's happening in the economic calendar this week coming. Things we should keep an eye on. Yeah, it's definitely trending. The Australian interest rate. So this week is a lot of interest rate decisions. So we have in the Asian session today, the Australian interest rate. Okay, it is forecast to rise. So keep an eye on that. We do have the Canadian interest rate. Oh, sorry, this is not today or at 3:30. So this is on Tuesday. So we still have another 24 hours or so before this actually happens. Wednesday, we have the Canadian interest rate decision. And we also have the US interest rate decision. So, a lot of action on Wednesday. Thursday, the Bank of Japan interest rate decision. Then we do have on Thursday, the UK Bank of England interest rate decision. So this week is interest rate decision week. Market is going to be in a frenzy. So, of course, there's a lot of opportunity, but with opportunity comes, with volatility comes opportunity and risk. So we just got to make sure that we're defending our account while we're trying to take advantage of a lot of these interest rate decisions. Remember that they use the news a lot to get their liquidities in before one thing goes in the next direction or the next. So yeah, interesting week ahead for sure. Just want to look at this GBP USD. All right, we're starting to see a little bit of a recovery after it dropped off. Oh, hold on. Sorry. That is not correct. There we go. That is better. Yeah, so huge drop off last week. But that interest rate decision in the US is definitely going to be affecting what is happening on this GBP USD. And well, of course, we have the English interest rate decision as well. So we gotta hang tight. We gotta hang tight on this one, right? Continue as is until otherwise noted. right? We continuing with this fall into the downside until otherwise noted. Right now is a falling knife. We don't want to catch it. Oh, by the way, I do have some news. I do have some news, especially for those people in the UK who is ready for some exciting news. Especially for those living in the UK. Mark your calendar, right? The 11th of April, 2026, we will be in a room, you and I, together, our very first mood swing. Are you ready? All right, we're going to have a face-to-face event. 11th of April, mark your calendar. I want to finally meet you guys face-to-face. All right, myself and another, we're going to do a little bit of a collaboration. So get yourself ready. All right, we're going to have some more details coming available this week, but get yourself ready. 11th of April, 2026. It's going to be at 12 noon. It's a Saturday. Let's get together in a room. All right, if you're excited about that, drop a fire emoji in the chat. Do something. Backflips. So I'm excited to meet you guys. I'm doing backflips right now. Okay, so come to the Caribbean next year. Why next year? Why next year? Oh, why can't we make it this year? You know, need some sunshine anyways. Need some sunshine anyways. For Christmas. A Jamaican Christmas. You know what? That sounds like a plan, you know. Who knows? Who knows? Let's see what could happen. Let's see what can happen, Rich. Let's see what can happen. Okay. So let's not get too carried away or overexcited. You get to me excited, you know, man. So this week, again, just interest rate decisions. So lots to just keep in mind as we navigate the markets. Remember, also, when we get our AI alerts, it is okay to drop down, right? So if we get an AI alert, say, for example, for a short, and you came back to your chart on the 15-minute and you didn't see a 1-2 or 1-2-3, it is okay to drop down to a 5-minute time frame, right? To see whether you have a 1-2 or 1-2-3 on the 5-minute. But only if that alert came from your from the AI alerts, right? Only if we get that from the AI alerts in our private and exclusive Telegram. The other thing to keep in mind as well, which has been working well for a few folks, is setting the alert here on TradingView, but I'll show you which one. So if I right click to set the alert, so right click, hit add alert here. You could also just go to this clock right there and click on that and hit the plus sign add alert. That's same thing. If we go to mood swing level, right? Now, you know, some people were asking me whether we could set the order blocks. And, you know, personally, I don't see any that we could do the order blocks themselves when they appear. However, you see these ones here, bullish order block, bullish internal order block breakout, bearish internal order block breakout. If you set that, right, set those, what happens is when the price breaks out of one of these order blocks, then you get an alert. And these have been really working well for a few folks, okay? Right, so it kind of gives you a heads up that, right, we should be looking and waiting now for some bulls or bears to happen. So play around with that, test it out, because it has been working well for a few folks, right? So just set it in there. It will go off on the 5-minute time frame. If you want it to go off on a 15-minute time frame, whatever time frame you're on right now, but you could then change that to a 5-minute if you want. And the trigger, I would say do it once every minute, and then it then forces you to look. It will go off every minute, and then you could switch it off or switch it on, or whatever you want. Okay, so that's one to keep in mind. Very, very handy indeed. All right, so we're just gonna wrap it up there. You know, gotta be patient. Okay, when we see the word bears, do we enter at the close of the candle? Yes, correct. Yeah. It will be at the close of the candle. So let me just put the bears on for now here. Right? So when that bears appears right there, right? And the candle close, that's your entry. That's your entry. Stop loss just above your order block right there, right? Now, I would say keep it really simple and go for a 1-to-3 risk to reward ratio, right? 1-to-3 risk to reward ratio. Take your profit and you're good to go. Now, let's say, for example, you've taken more than, 1-to-3 is fine on anything, right? Because you remember the risk percentage is, at least it should be, okay? Let me put it that way. It should be the same. Your risk percentage, your lot size might be different, but your risk percentage should be the same. Now, well, unless you have information to allow you to over leverage, which is fine as well once you have the information. But let's say, for example, you've taken 2 trades here. If one hits your 1-to-3, what you could do is let the other run, right? Now, within the educational channel, I've posted areas in which you should take your profit, okay? Does anyone remember that the zones or the areas in which you should take your profit? Okay, if you don't remember that, it's cool, but it's posted in the educational chat anyways. So keep an eye on that. I'm actually going to pin it right now. So I'm going to pin it there for you, so you know where you could take your profit. So what you could do is just leave the other one to run, and then when it gets to one of those zones, then you take your profit. Okay, but at least do yourself a 1-to-3 initially. Okay. Even if you didn't take 2 trades, if you just take 1 trade, you could still take partial profits. Of course, unless you're trading a 0.01 lot size, then you just take all your profits and wait. But you could take half your position off at the 1-to-3 and then let the others run. Right. Okay. So that's just a little bit of trade management 101. Right. So we're going to wrap it up there for the minute, and we will see each other on the inside. And I wish you guys a fantastic week. Just keep in mind lots of interest rate decisions this week, okay? All right. Take care. Bye-bye for now.